webinar. Okay, welcome everybody to the webinar SAP Integration with SharePoint Online. Unleash the power of your SAP data. My name is Christian Bauer from Docs42 and I'm happy to be here with Christian Tauchmann. Hello Christian.
Hi Christian. I'm also glad to have you here in our session.
Thanks a lot. So then, welcome to the session. What do we have prepared for you? First, we have an introductional part. We are right into that right now. Then I might give you a short overview of document automation using Docs42. Christian Tauchmann will do the same about SAP data integration using tier-one software products. And the better part of this webinar will consist of a live demonstration of SAP and SharePoint Online integration. So where we will use Extract Universal to synchronize data from SAP to a SharePoint Online Office 365 list, and then use this list as a starting point to generate documents where we integrate more SAP data and more SharePoint data. Then we do a short roundup and then we'll be here for your questions. Okay, just a few words about Docs42. Yes, Docs42 is a software manufacturer, ISV, independent software vendor in Microsoft speak. It's an innovative software product where you can automatically generate attractive documents from various systems like SharePoint, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Dynamics, Dynamics 365, and SAP, of course. We will see that in the demo a bit later. Attractive documents for us means that these documents contain not only data, but images, tables, dynamic diagrams, barcodes, can be built out of text modules, conditions, Google Maps, whatever you can think of. And all is designed in Microsoft Office, so in a very flexible and intuitive way, while you can create very powerful and attractive documents. Docs42 is used in various industries, of course, in public sector, insurances, financials, manufacturing, but also energy, universities, much in manufacturing, whatever, transport, of course, whatever. I mean, documents are needed almost everywhere. Okay, so yeah, Christian Tauchmann, can you tell us a bit more about tier-one software, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, just a short overview about Theobald software, who we are and what we do actually. So just a second. Yeah, so our company is now exists over 12 years now. Was founded in 2004, and since the foundation, it evolved and became a global leader in SAP integration technology. So that's where we have our expertise and where we really good in. That's SAP integration. We have over 2,000 customers worldwide. In the last 10 years, we got a lot of new customers. In total, we have almost 150 partners. That's a broad network of partners. We don't do any consulting by ourselves, so our business is just selling our software, administrating and developing our software. We don't do any consulting. That's what our partners for. For example, we work close together with Docs42 when it comes to things like document generation. Yeah, we are located, our headquarters is in Stuttgart in Germany, but we have two other regional offices, one in the United States in Seattle, and since 1.5 years we have another regional office in Hong Kong, to get a little bit closer to the Asian market as well. Yeah, that's basically the corner points to our company, and yeah, I'd like to give a pass over again to Christian to say a few words about Docs 42, basic architecture and so on. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Christian. Okay, just a few lines about Docs 42, the product. Okay, I told you that it's all about document automation, generating documents. When it comes to document automation, you need to design templates. And when it comes to template design, I may introduce three people to you, three roles that you find in each and every company: Igor, IT, Marketo, Marketing, and Bertrand, Business User. And the three of them have very different perspective when they think about documents or document templates. IT, of course, thinks about data integration, system integration, but marketing thinks about corporate design, about visualizing things, about creating attractive documents to attract customers. That's really important. And business users, of course, think about the workflow, what content needs to be present in a document, and so on. And in short, Docs 42 is a tool all three of them can work with, because it's very flexible and it's intuitive to use. How does that work? The template design works in Microsoft Office. So what you can see here on the left side is a Word document. And it's enriched with controls like these blue fields, and these blue fields enable Docs 42 to integrate data in these documents. There are more controls that allow for rules to block out text modules, integrate text modules, and this data cannot be only textual data, but as well images, dynamic charts, links, barcodes, and much more. We'll come to that later. We can integrate data from various systems. At this webinar, the most important is SharePoint Online in Office 365 and SAP, of course. But there is more, like web services, Excel, the whole Microsoft Dynamics 365 product line, and so on. And you can mix data, and we will do that today. You will see that live. All this data integration is done without programming, so it's not necessary to write one line of code to integrate all this data in documents, and you can mix it. And of course, when you generate a document, you want to do something with it. So that calls for output management. Docs 42 server allows for delivering these documents in the Office formats as a PDF, PDFA as well, storing documents to SharePoint. We will see that today while setting the metadata, creating emails and sending these emails, and you can print it and even send SMS and so on. So much more, and you can combine these output options. We will see that today. So in short, what we will see is a SharePoint integration in it works on premise of course as well, but it works on SharePoint Online. You can integrate all lists and documents from SharePoint. We will see that external data sources, PDF and Office formats as output, metadata, printing, and workflow integration. You can integrate Docs 42 very easily with popular workflow software, like for example Firestart from Prologix, or SharePoint native workflows, or Nintex, or K2, or any other workflow tool you can think of. Okay, that's a few words about the Docs 42 product. Now, Christian, can you please tell us more about the product of Theobald software? So I will pass it. I will pass you the screen to do that. I'll make you presenter. Yeah. So
perfect.
Okay.
I show my screen. You should see now our product portfolio. Do you see it?
We'll see it perfectly.
Perfect. Okay. So I will just give you a short overview about our product portfolio. So what I said in the beginning, our company exists since 2004, and what you see on the bottom right corner is ERP Connect. That's what we all started with. This was the first product of Theobald software. It's a pure programming interface for developers to connect SAP with other environments and destinations, and all the other products around here on the left-hand side and on the upper right corner evolved time after time since our foundation. So on the left-hand side, what you can see is are the products for SAP integration with business intelligent environments, reporting tools, and data warehouse systems. So for example, Extract.is is for SAP integration with SQL Server integration services, and the product above, Extract Universal, that's what we talk about in this session, is a universal tool for connecting SAP with different destinations, for example, databases, reporting environments, and what's interesting for this session today, we can also write data from, with Extract Universal in SharePoint custom lists for SharePoint on-premise and SharePoint Online. Just that you don't wonder why we have on the right-hand side also a connection tool with for SharePoint. That's more for process-oriented scenarios. So on the left-hand side, short to say, it's to get data from SAP to other destinations, for example, large amounts of data for reporting, and with ERP Connect services, the more process-oriented tool, which is installed directly in SharePoint. It's more for, like workflow solutions to do some self-service scenarios, or to create something out of SharePoint in the SAP system, for example, a purchasing requisition or material, for example. That's not suits the scenario we show today. That's why we use Extract Universal for this scenario. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. That's just a short overview about the architecture of our Extract Universal tool. What you see here is on the left hand side is our local installation of SAP. This could be an ERP system or a BW system. That doesn't matter, both is possible. And on the right side, these are the destinations we connect to. That's just a simple overview of a few of them. Much more destinations are possible. As you can see here, Tableau, for example, or databases like Teradata or Oracle, and SharePoint. And what we do today is to write data from an SAP table to a SharePoint custom list. We integrate here with Extract Universal. That's our middleware to get the data from SAP to the destination, and therefore we have an it's a client-server architecture. We have an Extract Universal server, which can be installed on a separate server, or also on the server that is where the destination software is located. And we have an Extract Universal Designer, which can be locally installed on your Windows environment, and which is for configuring or creating the extraction. I show you afterwards in the live demo how that works. A more complete view on this architecture is here on the next slide. As you can see here, in the SAP system, we have many different possibilities to get data from. For example, data is stored in tables. We can use our Extract Universal component table and table join to access table data on the SAP system. So I would say that's the easiest thing or easiest component to get data from the SAP system. The table join is interesting. We use this in our scenario that we show you later, is for joining two different tables with a primary key, and you don't have to do this in your destination environment, but can do this in the Extract Universal Designer. That's a pretty cool thing and relatively new in our software. You can also access BAPIs or RFC functions, queries, reports, or delta queue. That's a special thing with OLTP data sources and BW extractors, more for a BW system. These components are, you see it here on the slides, are more for integration with a SAP ERP system. And that's our scenario that we show you today is more meant for an SAP ERP system and not for a BW system, but because SharePoint Online is not really suited to manage large amounts of data. For example, a table with millions of data sets wouldn't be easy to handle in a SharePoint Online tenant or even on a SharePoint on-premise. So it's this scenario is good for maybe hundreds or thousands of data sets, but not millions of data. Okay, so that was basically the architecture of our software, Extract Universal. I would say let's go straight to the more interesting part of this webinar, the live demo. Let me close my PowerPoint and go to the Extract Universal Designer tool. So what you see here, this is the Extract Universal Designer. Told you before on the architectural slide. First of all, I'd like to show you how easy it is to create a new SAP extraction. I'm already connected here to the to the Extract Universal server, as you can see here. I'm connected here to this server URL, and the first thing what I have to do to create a new extraction would be to define my data source. That's the button here. Let's click on source, and for example, this EC5 is our SAP demo environment, and let me show you the information which is stored there. Yeah, it's pretty simple. We have application server URL that I have to enter here, a client ID, a login language. I can log in with one technical user, or I could also use a single sign-on access via SNC. And when I have configured this screen, I can test my connection to the SAP system. Seems to be okay. That's good. And when I have a source, I also have a destination. That's the button here. Let's click there. And when I like to create or add a new destination, I have many different possibilities or destination where I can choose from. For example, such reporting tools like Alteryx or MySQL, Power BI, but also databases like DB2 or Oracle Redshift. That's the Amazon database. A lot of different possibilities we have here. What we are talking today about today is the SharePoint destination. Let me show you this. I have already configured it in advance. That's here, SharePoint Online. You can see here the type is SharePoint list. We can only write to a SharePoint custom list this destination, and I can choose here between a SharePoint on-premise system and a SharePoint online system. Today our focus is on a SharePoint Online. I just have to enter my site collection URL and my Windows or Microsoft Live login user for this site collection. I can also test the connection here with this button. Let me check if it works. That looks good. So I have defined now a source and a destination. Let me show you how easy it is to create a new SAP extraction. I just click here on New, and this new ribbon appears. I select my source first of all, give it a name. So in this example, I want to extract material data from SAP from an SAP table. So what you see here under type are all the SAP, all the components I've shown you in this architectural slide before. For example, SAP table, query, and so on, table join. In this simple demo, I'd like to show you how to extract data from an SAP table. Let's click on OK. Already exists. Let me name it materials. I think that's better. And let me select the table for material data. That's the table MAKT. Select this, and just what you can see here in the middle, the metadata is extracted directly from the SAP tables, the different columns, for example, material number, language key, material description. I don't select all of them, just a few, the number, the language, and the text, and also define a where clause, for example, to narrow it down a little bit. For example, I only want language key with DE, so a German language key. And for demonstration purposes, I set the extraction settings. I set a row limit for, let's say 20 rows. Click on OK. And I have a new extraction now here. The default destination is always HTTP CSV file. I have to change this to my destination SharePoint Online. So let me change it to SharePoint Online. Just a few words about this, the options here. We have different possibilities to choose from different extraction modes. So for example, this drop, create, and insert means this data is directly created in the SharePoint list. We also have the possibility to use this statement here or extraction mode, create if not exist, and merge. This is important for our scenario later on, because that means only new created or changed values from SAP are transmitted to my destinations. For example, in the scenario later on, I create a new sales order, and only this new entry is transmitted and updated in my SharePoint Online list. Okay, so now I have defined everything, the source, the destination. Let's click on Run. Now the extraction is started, and now let me take a look on my SharePoint Online site. That's the site here. Let's go to the website contents. And there should be a new list here. It's still extracting, how it seems. Let me refresh it in the designer. Now it's done. You see it's this 20 rows have been submitted to the destination. Let me refresh the page as well in SharePoint Online. And here is the list I just extracted and processed to SharePoint Online. So that was just the basic explanation how extractions, setting up a new extraction in principle works with the Extract Universal Designer. Let's come to our specific scenario, creating a sales order in the SAP system and transmitting this sales order to my SharePoint Online list. Therefore, I have to create a new sales order first in the SAP system. So let's go to SAP. That's just a SAP a starting screen, and I have to enter my transaction for creating a new sales order. Seems that the connection was broken. Let me just log in again. Okay. So that's the transaction for creating a new sales order. Example, a new customer, 307, customer, a number, a delivery date, and 2 material positions. I think I logged in with German language, sorry about that, but I don't change it now afterwards. That's one material 100, 100, and another material position for 10. I need a quantity for both. And here it's pieces. Let me confirm it. Looks good. It's here casings and a flat screen. And let's save this sale order in the SAP system. Okay. Okay, looks good. The sales order was created and saved in the SAP system. We have a sales order number 15687. Let's remember this number for later. And let's go back to the Extract Universal Designer. I have prepared for this scenario extraction with a table join. Let me show you this extraction for sales order data. Therefore, I don't use the simple table extraction, but I did table join extraction. We have on the left-hand side the table VBAK, that's header data for sales orders in SAP, and on the right-hand side KNA1, that's for customer data. And I want to join these 2 tables with this statement here over the customer number, KUNNR. That's the short term for the customer number, and I do an inner join here. It would also be possible to do an outer join. I have auto mapping here, which connects these 2 fields directly, and I've chosen some fields to display in my destination list from these 2 tables. For example, the document number, the customer name, document type, and the created on date. Okay, yeah, that's basically it. That's my table join, and I already created a new sales order number. There should be a new a new sales order, and when you remember what I told you before, I have here in my destination create if not exist and merge statement, so only the new sales order number should be transmitted to my SharePoint Online list. Let me try this and run the extraction in the background. Okay, the extraction is running. It's still in progress. Okay, what we see here is now it's finished. 172 rows have been transmitted. That's my extraction. Before it was 171 rows. Let's take a short glance on the log file. That's interesting. I scroll down, and what we see here, 172 rows have been extracted from SAP, but only 1 new row was added and updated in the SharePoint SharePoint Online list. So everything worked fine, and the next step now is to take a look on the SharePoint Online list, and that's where Docs42 came into play to do something with the data we just created in the SharePoint Online list. I would like to pass over back to Christian Bauer, okay?
Yes, thank you very much, Christian. Cool. I meanwhile refreshed the SharePoint list here. So we are in Office 365 SharePoint. Yeah, and here is your sales order. It's already there. It has been transmitted via Extract Universal to Office 365 SharePoint Online. So you see, it's not that complicated to synchronize SAP with SharePoint Online. As we are now in SharePoint Online, we can start work on this sales order. Before we do that, let me just draw your attention to the fact that we did not synchronize the order data, the positions. We just synchronized the name of the customer, the sales document, this is the order number and the customer number, and more, yeah, that's enough more or less for the time being. But let's start to work with this sales order. So yeah, we start to edit it. What we can do here in SharePoint is that we can link it to additional SharePoint data. So we could edit it here, but what's more interesting is we add an advertisement, because in the document we are going to send to our customers, we would like to have an advertisement. For example, we want to invite this customer to the zoo in Vienna. By the way, if you at a point in your life have the chance to visit Vienna, don't miss the zoo, it's really worthwhile. Then we also want to specify which employee is going to show up in the sales order document. Yeah, and we specified it should be Selena. These two pickups was SharePoint lookups. You will see the lists later on. Then we can integrate a private message to the customer. Let's assume that Selena and the customer from Los Polos Hermanos, they had a beer yesterday. So Selena says, oh, thanks for the beer yesterday, as a private message. And I mean, she wants to emphasize the beer. Okay? And give it a, yeah, let's say, do the beer in red. It was red beer. And then she can also enter the email. Michaela, Mitarbeiter. So, one of our demo employees. Okay, so we worked on this sales order here. We are done. We saved that back to SharePoint. Now we have mixed SharePoint data and SAP data. Then let's see how that would look in a document. What we can do is we can just from the SharePoint context menu, see, let's get a document preview. What we did to get these menu items was very easy. We fired up SharePoint Designer and entered custom actions for this context menu to link to the Docs42 server REST interface. And what the Docs42 server did is to generate a sales order document as a PDF for us. Let's open it. Okay, and it integrated the casings and the flat screen, as Christian Tauchmann entered them just a minute before in SAP, and the image of Selena Bandley and the invitation to the Vienna Zoo and the signature of Selena Bandley, so that it composed a nice looking document for us. Obviously integrating data from SAP, like the customer name and customer address, which was not transferred to SharePoint, the positions, some calculations, the image of Selena, that was a lookup to an image library in SharePoint. Have a look at it. Here it is. Let's have a look at that. You see that the image is really there. It's a big image. That was the reason why the document creation took some time. Okay. Then we have the signatures. It's basically the same the same idea, images stored to SharePoint, and we got the advertisements here as well. And these advertisements are Word documents, little Word documents that should be integrated in a sales order. Here we got the So Vienna. Let's have a look at it in Word Online. Okay, get a free ticket. And that's exactly the text block that is integrated in this PDF from Word Online. If you want to change that, you can immediately edit it here. It's a Word document. Okay? Okay. So that was easy enough. The next thing we can do is that we say when we are happy with that, we can send it off. Because we want to send it to the customer. We can do that from the context menu in the same way. We just send it. What happens now is the same document is composed again, integrating data from SAP, integrating data from SharePoint, then convert it to PDF, store it to SharePoint with the order number, and creating a nice looking email and sending it off to Michael Mitarbeiter. In order to receive this email, I should switch on my Outlook to work online in order to connect it. And here it is. So Michael Mitarbeiter got a nice looking email with also to integrate the advertisement for the Vienna Zoo, the image of Selina, and the individual message with the red beer, and of course the sales order attached. Okay. So what I would like to show you is how the templates for the email and the sales order look like. Let's have a look at the order template first. As you can see, that's a Word document. It's not very complicated to understand. You can see these blue fields that belong to certain fields from various data sources, mostly from SAP. You can edit this document here as you can edit any Word document. And you can test it. So if you would like to see how that looks like, you can start the Docs Folder to Generator right out of Microsoft Word. Select a sales order here. That was a lookup to SharePoint, of course. And then the document is created here live in Word. The same data lookups are performed, integrating data from SAP, from Stuttgart, and data from SharePoint Online, from I don't know where it's running. I don't care about. And here we get the same. It was a different sales order, so with a different number. So there we have a different employee, a different signature, and a different advertisement. Okay, it was a different sales order selected. Okay, what we need to integrate these blue fields and this data here is to set up the data connections in the Data Map Designer in Docs 42. We do that on one hand for SharePoint. So this is in order to connect to SharePoint Online. We just had to check the box here that we would like to go to SharePoint Online. Okay. Select the list, set up a query. In our case, we want to have it sorted. We can filter it and so on. Yeah, and we can test it. You can see, okay, does this lookup to SharePoint Online works as we expected? Yes, it does. Nice. The same way we set up the other SharePoint lookups like employee signature, advertisements, and so on. And then we got a SAP data source for positions, for example. That's now linking to the SAP table FABAP. This is the position table. It's filtered by the order number. We can test it as well and see if the SAP connection works. Yes, perfectly. Okay. We could have called the BAPI here as well. And then we have the additional options to do some calculations. We can use Excel data sources to do calculations where we dynamically enter data in Excel and use the Excel formula language to do some calculations, to calculate totals or something else. Then we could do some filtering, group calculations, dynamic fields, and you have a lot more data sources here. So that's a quite powerful tool. Okay, that's it. And in the same way, we designed the order confirmation mail. You remember the mail here? Like, open it again. Yeah, that's the mail. And put it on one side of the screen. And that's the template for it. Put it on the other side so you can see how that fits together. Okay? The data connection for the mail and for the sales order are exactly the same. So it was not necessary to do that again. So you could just reuse it. Okay, and it was quite easy to set up these data connections and to design these templates in Word, and then to integrate it here in SharePoint Online. It was really easy money to do that. But in the end of the day, you have a really nice application here where you can create sales orders, send them off to your customers, notify back to SAP and so on, and store your sales orders to SharePoint, of course. So that was the sales order we created a few seconds ago. It's stored to SharePoint, and also we see the order number here. It's also there. Okay, so you have the document archived as well to SharePoint. So basically that's the live demo we prepared for you. We are now going to the roundup. Okay, so what we saw is that how to set up an SAP extraction with Extract Universal, how to do table joins there, how Christian Tauchmann took it. Yes, he did it, okay, to enter a sales order in the wonderful SAP GUI and extract this sales order with Extract Universal and synced it to SharePoint Online. And then we used Docs42 Designer to create a sales order mail and sales order document from this data. Preview it, linking additional SharePoint data, documents and images and other data to this document, and sending it off to a client and archiving it to SharePoint. Okay, that was
Thanks for the summary.
Pleasure. Yes, this was our part. Now it's your turn for the questions, because now we are here and will answer your questions. So please be so kind as to type in your questions in the questions panel of the GoToWebinar panel on the right side, and we will be here for you for 10 more or 15 more minutes to answer your questions. Okay, and what I will do is I will read out these questions, yeah, and we will answer them. And here comes the first question. First question is Theobald software component compatible together with SAP HANA? Christian, I need to pass that over to you.
Yeah, no problem. That's my part for SAP knowledge. So yeah, no problem. We can actually we can connect with any database which is behind an SAP system. That doesn't matter to us, because we always connect not directly with the database, but with the application layer with RFC functions. So we doesn't care if it's a HANA database, DB2 or Oracle. That's completely supported by our software tools.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thanks. And the same goes for Docs42, as Docs42 uses Theobald software components to connect to SAP. Next question. Do I always have to go through SharePoint to call Docs42? That goes for me. No, you don't have to always use SharePoint. You can, Docs42 is independent from SharePoint. You can connect to SharePoint, but you don't have to. You can call Docs42 from SAP directly, or can use Docs42 from, for example, from Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and if you have no system at all, but you want to generate documents from a web surface, from a website or from a mobile, then I can show you Docs42 Live, which is also a nice thing. I just drop in that short demo. Just one moment. I will just pop my mobile on the screen for one moment. Just stand by. Okay, so you should see my mobile on the screen here, and that's Docs42 Live. And I can get a sales order preview here as well. So what I can do is I can connect Docs42 Live to the same SharePoint list, to the same document template we saw before in this demo. Yeah, I get the same options here to select from the SharePoint list. That was exactly, as you remembered the number, of course, from Christian Tachmann. This was the last sales order, and I can create a document here right out of my mobile. So you can create a document right from my iPhone. And there was absolutely no programming involved. It was just putting the template on Docs42 Live and registering it there, and that's it. All for the SAP lookup, and everything else was already done. So just switch my mobile that you can see it better. Okay. And you can see it's exactly the document we generated right before. So it's not necessary all this to go through to SharePoint, but you can use any other system as well. You can even generate tickets here, for example, if you would like to travel from Zurich to Vienna and you would like to have a ticket here, you can get a ticket out of Docs42 Live. That shows Google Maps integration, by the way. And you still get a free ticket to Vienna Zoo. Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay, more questions. Let's pull up the questions panel again. Wait a minute. Okay. Next question. How can you get to the software and test it? There are two answers again. First one is from Christian Tachmann, please.
Yeah, maybe I can just share my screen again. Would that be possible?
Sure, just one moment. Make presenter.
Okay, so I'm now on our website from Theobald Software, theobald-software.com, the English site, and we have a download section here where you can click on trial versions, and in the product section here you just select which kind of product you want to download and install, and give in some additional information about your company, and we'll get a download link, and yeah, that's 30 days of free trial, and during this period you have full access to our support team, and if 30 days are not enough, it's absolutely no problem. We do gladly extend this period for you. So that's the normal procedure, how to get to our software and how to test it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and basically the same is true for Docs42. You can download the Docs42 Office add-ins for free from our docs42.com website. You get a 30 days trial period. Not all data sources are included here. namely the SAP data source is not included here. If you want to test it, just drop us a line and you will get again a 30 days trial for that. No problem. So, any more questions? Next question popping in. Okay, is it possible to include barcodes, namely QR codes, in documents? Yes, it is. Docs 32 provides for the option to transfer data, to render data in documents as QR codes, and you can even do things like SAP-conform payment information in QR codes or contact information and so on. So Docs 32 offers a lot of barcodes and QR codes of different types. You can integrate in documents without any programming. Okay, any more questions? Seemingly no. So there are just a few moments more to enter questions. But however, if you want to ask questions later or want to get in contact with us for a demo or for a free trial or whatever you like, then yeah, you see our contact data, our emails on the screen. Please be so kind as to contact us. We will be happy to talk with you and to answer your questions and so on. Okay. Additionally to that, you will be provided with the recording. You will get a mail during the next days containing a link to the YouTube of the recording of this webinar. Okay, from my side, I say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Have a great day. Yeah, thank you. And maybe Christian, you want to say the famous closing words?
Thank you very much. I have nothing much more to say. Yeah, thank you for your participation. Have a nice day, have a nice week, and hope to hear from you. Bye-bye.
Same for me. Thank you very much. Have a great day, great week. Goodbye.